What's up, fam? Welcome back to the We Are Just Dating page. My name is Tim. This is my beautiful wife, Pauline, and you are tuning in to another episode of the W Podcast, where you get wisdom in a word with the
Wheelers.
Hey, so we're excited to have y'all in. This week we got another great topic. But first, I do want to say there's a few things on our website that we want to make sure you guys don't miss out on. So, first thing is this. We have our boundaries PDF and our friendship PDF. Both are going on a Black Friday sale. Black Friday sale starting today. Y'all know Walmart and Target, all of them, they started Black Friday. It used to be one day. Black Friday was one day. Now it's like Black Friday month. Everybody's trying to get their deals in. So we want to join in on that. If you have not been able to purchase it yet, we want to make sure you have an opportunity for the price of $5.99. So they're going on sale. We would love for you to be able to purchase them and be able to talk about things over the holiday break as things begin to slow down with work. Hopefully for you, you'll be able to have a time to talk with your partner and make sure you're going into 2022 on a great, strong, healthy start. And then also, if right now money's just a little tight for you, but you still want some resources from us, on our website, we have a free date night guide. Can you tell them about that?
Yeah, so the date night guide is an easy way for you to get some date night ideas that don't break your budget or your boundaries, which is super important, super key. So hop on there. It's completely free. It actually has some date night ideas for you to get through every season of the year.
Yeah, we put in some work on that joint. So
and there's a little bonus surprise in there too.
And if you're single right now, get that, because we don't know how long we're going to keep it up on our website, but get it now because these are ideas you can save for one day when you do have Mr. and Mrs. Right. So make sure you go, and we have a fun surprise on there too. We won't get that away, but there's something that you may not expect on that. So make sure you go on our website it's not that's our Instagram. Why don't you go follow now? At We Are Just Dating. But the website is www.wearejustdating.com. Whatever, y'all get the point.
Wearejustdating.com. You got it.
But y'all came here for the podcast, so what are we talking about today? Can you tell the people?
We are talking about settling. Am I settling? How do you know when you're settling? It's a big question. It kind of floats around the whole, how do I know this person is the one question, which I know a lot of people hang out there when they're dating.
Yeah, one thing we found that a lot of times when people are dating, there's like 3 stages that people are in. They're either settling, they know they shouldn't be with this person. They're trusting God too much, and we'll break down what that means. You can trust God too much? We'll explain. And then they're right in that sweet spot, I would say. And we're going to break all of those down right now. But I just wanted to make sure you knew that up front. So, settling. What does that look like? How do I know if I'm settling in a relationship? And the first thing we'll say is this. You know you're settling if you're going back on some of the healthy, God-given non-negotiables that you had before you started dating. So, for example, for me, when Pauline and I were dating, or before we started dating, actually, I knew that I wanted to date someone and eventually marry somebody who served every week like I did. Now, let me be upfront. And when I say serve, I mean in the church. Let me be upfront. I'm not trying to put a number out there like, oh, good Christians serve weekly. That's not it at all, because right now with a baby, that's not even our flow. But what I am saying is that I had to make sure I found somebody that had the same heart and desire that I did for serving the church, because that was important to me. That may not be as important for you, but what is it that's important to you? What is it that you're like, look, no matter what, I need somebody to do this in order for me to have a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that?
And what it really comes down to is you want to date somebody and eventually marry somebody who's running after God at the same pace that you are. You don't want to be with somebody who's going to slow you down, drag you, that you have to drag along and that they're dragging you. It's really not fun. As you guys can imagine, you don't ever want to feel like someone's being your mom, your spiritual dad. That's not fun. You're looking for a partner.
Right. If you're someone who likes to worship for 3 hours every day, why would you put yourself in a situation where you're dating someone who worships once or twice a week at most?
Yeah.
Like, that is not even you're saved, you're not saved. That's just a practicality. Like, do you guys mesh? Like, if you're have a pursuit of chasing after God, and honestly, I want to take this out of the spiritual realm, because it's not even that. It's education-wise. Like, if you're someone who is constantly learning, it's going to be hard for you to date somebody who all they do is get off work and watch TV. like all day. Like that's all they do. Like that's going to be hard for you to just settle with.
I think definitely. Even this point is we really want you guys to know or take away from it is partnering with dating somebody who's running at the same pace that you are in your spiritual life, in your physical life. If you're like big on working out and you are a bodybuilder, you're probably
wouldn't want to date your boy.
Yeah, you're not
because
gonna
I'd be
date
flip floppy on that job.
Who's a couch potato. And not that there's anything wrong with being a couch potato, because some couch potatoes are actually generally healthy. Some people don't need to work out. Let me stop. But anyway,
we're clearly not health experts.
That's what it really comes down to. And like you said, intellectually, if you're a PhD and intellectual, growth is really big for you, you're probably not going to want to be with somebody who doesn't value that as well and doesn't understand why you spend so much time researching and studying and things like that. So you want to be with somebody who's on the same pace as you. Now that doesn't mean if you're a PhD, you can only marry the PhD.
Right. It's more, again, this is about mindset. It's about heart, desire. That's what it's about. It's not about status. And we do want to say, we're not saying that you should judge people. We're saying that you should evaluate them. And I have a thing that I wrote down. I got to read it word for word to make sure y'all get it because it's good. So judging someone is saying that they are not worthy and that something is wrong with them. We're not telling you to do that. Evaluating someone is saying this person is a child of God and they're valuable, but they are not the best match for my life. That's okay.
Yeah, because we have these conversations with like friendships and other relationships in your life too. You want to marry somebody and now date somebody who has very similar priorities as you do. And you'll have friends who like your priorities don't match as well, and like your seasons kind of in life, like you're not going to be as close to that person at that time, and that is okay. So that it's very important when you're dating. Some people are very, very focused on their career and they're career driven, and that's where they believe most of their time and their energy should go. And if you are somebody who is more focused on ministry and building the church or whatever that looks like, it's going to be really hard for you guys to run together. Because if you think about what marriage is, it is a partnership, practically, spiritually, all the things. So you want to make sure that you are partnering with somebody who is going in the same direction and the same pace that you are.
Right. All right. Let's move on to the next topic, which is trusting God too much. Now, some of you may have clicked this video and be like, what does that even mean? We're not saying that there's a limit that you should put on trusting God. That's not the point. This is kind of just catchy and fun. But what we are trying to say is there's some people who they believe that because they're Christian and because their other person's Christian, that they shouldn't have to put in any work in the relationship. We should just be able to get married and everything's going to work out.
Right.
Wrong. Relationships require work on both parts. So when you're trusting God too much, that's when you think that he's just going to work everything out. He's going to do everything for you. And that's just not how real life works.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that, sometimes we can get a little lazy and just God will work it out. God's going to do it. And you're right. God is going to do it. God receives all glory, or he should receive all glory from us, and every single piece of success and, everything that happens in the world, all victory belongs to the Lord. But God does use people, and he uses us a lot of times to bring forth those victory and the success that we see in our lives and other people's lives. The Bible says that we are co-laborers with Christ. It doesn't say, hey, just hang out and do nothing and God is going to, bring forth the victory. A lot of times, blessings require work. There's so many analogies in the Bible, so many stories of, agriculture and farming and plowing and all the work that goes into being a farmer. I have never been a farmer. I have no desire to be one. But I do know that they put in work to bring forth the harvest, and so much happens for us. I think this is big, like in college, people will be like, oh, I prayed about this exam, or I prayed about this, and it's like,
why are you talking about me? Are you talking about me?
No.
Are you talking about me?
No, I'm not. But
that was
other friends, myself included, I didn't learn how to study until I was in college, and I had to learn the hard way. But you do need to study. Pray and study and pray. You can't just do one.
So what does this look in dating? Let's be practical for a second. So what this looks like in dating is you say there's things that are on your non-negotiable list that this person actually, they pass everything, right? But there's little things about them that annoy you. Like there's things that I do that annoy Pauline.
Maybe they drive too fast.
And there's things that Pauline does. Backseat driver.
Okay, let it out.
That praise God. That Pauline does that annoys me. So you have to be mindful, because here's what we don't want, and this is how you know that you're trusting God too much, quote unquote, is you're going from relationship to relationship looking for the perfect person.
Yeah.
When you don't realize that everybody, including yourself, got flaws and have issues. Yeah. And you have to be able to differentiate, is this person just a bad person, not a good fit for me? Or is this person a good fit, but they have some areas that annoy me, and I just have to learn how to work through those, accept those. Sometimes that person just ain't gonna change, and it's not that deep. Like, yes, they turn the radio down every time they're trying to park because they need to focus. It doesn't make any sense,
right.
But that is what they do, and you have to be able to accept that and live with that, because in every other area, they're a great, great fit.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to have an idealistic mindset or like a fantastical mindset where you think like, oh, somewhere out there in the world there's somebody who does this and does that. And it's like, yeah, but they have flaws too, because nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. So you have to be able to say like, wow, this person has like 90% of the things that I want, all the important things. But maybe, you know, for me, it was like, I never thought I would marry somebody who was younger than me. But it's like, why does that matter? Like, what does that affect? Tim still had the maturity and the growth that I needed, and he was a great leader. That's what I needed in a husband. So I was like, what does the age really matter?
You better talk your boy up. Is there anything else you want to share?
I'll say the rest for later. Yeah, I think that's just important too, the fantastical mindset, or like trusting God too much, as we're calling it. Because when you get married, you have to know that marriage takes work. And if you're not willing to put in work while you're dating, you're sure enough not gonna make it in marriage. And I think a lot of people in our generation get really disappointed when they get married, because they're like, wait, I thought you were the one. Like, everything was working out when we were dating, this is that, you know, and then the emotions settle and the honeymoon stage, you know, wears off, and then you're like looking around like, who is this?
Do you think that has to do with rom-coms and romance movies? Like,
sure.
That romanticism, like,
yeah, the romanticized marriage. I mean, rom-coms are good, because a lot of times in those movies, those people don't even end up getting married in the end. It's just they end up together or whatever. But yeah, I definitely think that we don't have proper expectations going into marriage, and that's why it's really important that you do have like a mentor couple or several mentor couples or community that you can look to, and you can say like, wow, this couple has a strong, healthy marriage. I've seen them argue, I've seen them handle conflict in a healthy way. I'm not afraid, you know, of it, because I think sometimes we see like, when we see couples from a distance, whether it's like celebrities or like you only see the good side of people on like social media, and then like you think there's something wrong with what you have, and there's really not. Just right. You all got issues just like everybody else.
No relationship is perfect.
Yeah, it's just the same way as like, I think of this analogy with a house and marriage. Like, if you buy a house brand new, it's perfect, you know, when you move in. Or so you think. And then when you move in, you know, even if there's nothing wrong with it the first year or two, like houses need maintenance. They need their lawn mowed. They need the pump sump, the pump changed, or whatever it's called.
You don't know what you're talking about.
They need you know, they need different maintenance, just like your car does. Your car needs maintenance even if you buy it brand new. So that's, there's nothing wrong with your car if you have to get the oil changed. All cars do, whether you drive, you know, a Tesla or a Lamborghini or whatever it is you drive. If you drive a Honda, everybody's car needs to be maintenance. So that happens with marriage as well. You're not, you know, exempt for that. And you think like, oh, I have to go on a date night, we have to have conversations, we have to do budget meetings, like we have conflict. No, there's nothing wrong, you know, with you or with your relationship. So just expect to do work.
Yeah, I feel like relationships are the only area of our life we expect to be able to just leave alone and let there be, and nothing bad is going to happen to it. Even your furniture in your house, if you leave for a month, you come back, there's going to be some dust on it. Like, nothing just stays as is. You have to either realize that things are going to be moving forward in your relationship, or things are going to be moving backward. Yeah. And the only thing that's going to change that is you intentionally pouring into that relationship.
Yeah, nurturing it.
All right, so what does it look like to be in the middle? So you're not settling, but you're not also trusting God too much. And we think that is the sweet spot. That's when...
Kind of sounds like a spectrum that we're describing.
Yeah, that's when you know that your relationship is going to take work, but you also know that God is giving you both grace to be together and have a healthy relationship. Because at the end of the day, none of us can have a godly dating relationship, godly marriage without God. Like, that just doesn't happen. Right. So every day we need the Holy Spirit to help us walk through our relationships, because it's hard. One of the Bible says it's a mystery how a man and woman come together. It's a mystery how marriages work, and that's why a lot of marriages fail, because we're trying to do it without God, and He intended for us to do it with Him. So that you want to be careful of that. And I'll say in dating, what this looks like, an example from us. So we dated for 2.5 years. Dated and were engaged for 2.5 years, and the whole time we dated, I was in school, and me and Pauline both wanted to get married. Like 6 months in, we knew, like, all right, we want to marry each other. And that's just because we're very, like, we know what we want, and when we know what we want, we tend to rush, which isn't good. But we knew we wanted to get married, and I remember having conversations with my pastor, with my dad, talking about that, and they were like, bro, you need a full-time job. Like, you can't marry anybody right now. You're not ready. And as annoying as that was, they were right. And they were right because I need to have a foundation that I can help my family stand on. Obviously, we're going to stand on Christ, but we live in the world. I need to stand on some money. Like, you can't just stand on Christ. I got to feed people. So I needed a full-time job. And it wasn't going to, if I was trusting God too much, what that would look like is, God, I know you want us to be married, so you're just going to drop $1 million in my hand right now so that I can get married today. No, that's not how it works. There's a process. Everything goes through seed, time, and harvest. Like, there's a process to how God works. And I had to go through that process of graduating, getting a job, and literally a month after I graduated and had a full-time job, I proposed to you. And then we went through the process of being engaged for 11 months, and then we got promotions within that time. We were able to get housing, and we got married. So God had a process that we had to go through, and I just had to be patient to go through that. So I wasn't settling. Pauline wasn't settling by waiting to get married, because she felt that I was the person God had for her. But at the same time, we weren't trusting God too much, just believing that money was going to fall out the sky.
Right. I think the main thing there to take away is when we talk about settling, it's really about character and also vision for that person's life and what it is that God's called them to do, and then what has God called y'all to do together. And if there's nothing He's called you guys to do together, you can't figure that out in a decent amount of time, then the chances are you're not supposed to be together. So that's what we really mean by settling. I'm not saying, and this was me, I wanted to marry somebody who was making this amount of money and was driving this car and doing that. And
your best friend said something funny.
And she was like, she looked at my list, she was like, okay, Leanie, so you want to marry a 35-year-old.
And how old were you?
I was 22 at the time. And I was like, oh, I don't want to marry somebody that old. But then she was like, but this list is like the person who you painted. It's like, you're not talking about somebody who's within our age range. Because I myself wasn't doing half of those things.
See, that's a whole nother message. Stop expecting to date people that you're not even doing what you want them to do, please.
But I was like, God will do exceedingly abundantly above all I could ask or imagine. But anyway, so that's really what it comes down to, is character and vision. So Tam and I had similar visions for our lives, wanted to have similar impact. So that's what was really, really key. Not necessarily like, oh, what type of car he was driving, because those things change, right? Like, chances are you're not driving the same car, you know, you were driving when you were
5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago, and you won't be driving the same car from now 5 years from now. It's just, we all grow and evolve. So you don't want to make decisions like permanent or like lifetime decisions like marriage based on a temporal situation. Oh, I'm gonna marry this person because of where they work, or because of their physical ability, because of what happens. You know, one of my mentors at the time, she said, you know, what are you going to do if that person gets in a car accident the next day? Like, that real stuff like that happens. People get sick. And you don't want to be like, oh, well, I'm out, you know.
And that's why, you know, you hear a lot of talks about in the church, like, how much should attraction play into it? And absolutely, we want you to be attracted to the person you are. But that's why you have to be careful. If that's the only thing that you're looking for, the main thing you're looking for is attraction, you do have to be careful, because we do live in the world and things happen, and that attraction can go away like that. Yeah. So that is very important. We're never going to say, oh, don't look for somebody that's attractive to you. But if that's the only thing you care about, you're setting yourself up for
There's levels to it, right? Like, you can be attracted to somebody and they don't look like Michael B. Jordan. Because, like, come on now, the celebrity culture, like, that's not... They're celebrities for a reason, because they don't look like normal people. Not that they aren't normal people, they are.
And it's not even, a lot of times they do look like normal people, but when they got that makeup on, they got the lighting hitting them the right way, like,
right,
it's
like,
not always what it looks like.
Everybody looks, you know, different.
There's touch-ups.
Yeah, when they wake up first thing in the morning, so like keep that in mind as well. But also you have to ask yourself, like, do you look like a celebrity that you, you know, you require that? I'm not really joking, but I mean, yeah, you have to be, you know, realistic and fair and know if, like, what you're offering, you know, to like want to be with somebody who's not on your level, but yeah, kind of.
So we hope this week's video was helpful. I think we gave you guys a lot of practical things to look at. And if you enjoyed this, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. What you waiting for? You might as well commit to us. And leave us a comment. What is your takeaway from this video? We would love to know. Lets us know that we're actually saying something that people are understanding and value. And remember, you can get that boundaries or the friendship PDF, and you can also get the free date night guide on our website. We Are Just Dating. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We love y'all.